life, anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Thanks for saying, Chran. Many local government areas across the Niger Delta region have lamented struggling with broken infrastructure, poor maintenance, and limited accountability. Now, at the nerve of all these is a local government autonomy idealization that a lot of critics are still about its implementation and functionality. Today, we want to answer a crucial question around the real state of local government infrastructure in the Niger Delta and who should take responsibility for rebuilding trust at the grassroots. We have joining us Director, Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network, Otwekong Franklin Isang. Welcome on the program, Otwekong.
My pleasure.
Terrific Tuesday it is.
Very terrific. Yeah, well done, man. Good to be here.
Well, I mean, when we look at the realities within the local government areas, Niger Delta region now, even countrywide, the conversation has been about the autonomy that was declared, where the local government will now serve itself, taking care of its needs and investing in infrastructure. When we talk about local government development, we're talking about the grassroots now, persons that are supposed to benefit from it, away from the noise of the big cities. But it's as if this area is still being neglected. What is going on at the local government level? You've been around the Niger Delta region recently and taken notes of some of the developments. What is happening?
Well, this is a very topical discussion that if we are to begin to discuss it, we will take a whole day. On the 6th of this month, the CSOs, over 160 of us, had a conference in Uyo, and the topic was the state of local government administration in Nigeria. And from the analysis that we got across the country, it is obvious that local government system is dying. And if you look at it, it is because of the basis of our democracy. Our democracy was promulgated using Decree number 24 by the General Abdulsalami Abubakar military junta in 1999. And the constitution that came into force from that proclamation has always remained an aberration for democracy. Looking at it, you will see that Section 7 of the Constitution guarantees local government councils manned by elected officials. Then you go further, Section 2, Sub 2 of our Constitution also talked about the federation, that Nigeria is comprised of a federation made up of the state, federal government, and the Federal Capital Territory. It did not mention the local government administration specifically. And then the funding of the local government is also contained in Section 162 of our Constitution, but it talks about when the funds are paid from the FAC, that is the differential account, it paid into what is called State Local Government Joint Account under Section 162 of our Constitution. And so the state government now manage this joint account. And so at the state level, they will now have what is called a joint account committee, where they will now sit, the state government officials and local government council officials will sit, and then funds will now be reallocated to local government. And so we have been on these advocacies for autonomy of local government councils over the years. During the last administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, he came up with a decree where he now said, with an order where he now said that the local government fund should be given to local government councils directly through, and then he now mandated the NFIU, the financial unit of the EFCC, to monitor the funds of local government. The local government council chairman under the Algon and the governors forum also went to court protesting that the president has no right to come up with the order, and that was put aside. Now, under the government of President Bola Tinubu, the Minister of Justice, Chief Lateef Fagbemi, went to court again, to Supreme Court, asking the court to interpret the functionality of Section 162, the joint account. And then the court made clear declarative order and pronouncement that the local government funds should be given to local government councils straight away from fact, as the joint account is, as the fact distribute the funds of local government, it should be shared of states and federal government. Local government council should also get theirs from source, not from the joint account again, under the section 162. And then the Supreme Court also prohibited councils being manned by unelected council officials. But from that date of that pronouncement of the Supreme Court till date, like you rightly mentioned, the council funds are still being managed by the joint account of the state. And over the past 2 months, I and my team, we've been on tour of local government. I think last week, I came back from a trip I went to in Enugu. The whole of the southeast are suffering the same fate. Now you come to south, of course, we are at Port Harcourt, that is the River State. We went to Bayelsa, we went to Delta, we went to Edo, we went to Ondo, and then, of course, Akwa Ibom State, and then Cross River State. You cannot see an effective local government system. You cannot actually point that this is a structure in most of these councils, most of these states. And so, in some of them, sad enough, what we could see standing to the credit of local government councils in most of these states are just the signages, the billboards that shows that this is a local government headquarters. Beyond that, you will see the councils being overgrown by weeds. You will see the decayed infrastructure. You wouldn't even know this is a local government council. Looks like an abandoned primary school blocks.
So who is to be blamed in all of this?
It is the fact that the president had, through the Minister of Justice, like I have said, obtained a Supreme Court judgment that now authorized that the funds of council should be given to local government councils directly. And the federal government, through the Mr. President, also set up a committee where you had the Minister of Justice, Minister of Finance, and all the officials of the states that ought to be concerned in that committee. And then the federal government now asks that the local government councils should submit their account number to Central Bank of Government, to Central Bank of Nigeria, so as to be able to get their funds from source. But the question is that if any local government chairman dares to submit his account to the federal government, the state government will now see you as a traitor. So what happened, for instance, in Anambra State, where the governor came out with 2 different laws on how to re-manage, having been defeated by the Supreme Court judgment, he now came up with 2 different laws to now re-manage the local government funds. So you can now see that several things have happened that has hampered the growth of local government system in Nigeria.
It's a matter of control, or?
It's a matter of the political will. If, like what happened in River State, for instance, you could see the funds of council being withheld. The funds of council were withheld. So why can't the federal government now say, okay, any state that has refused to allow the funds of councils paid to local government councils, the funds are withheld. Just like the federal government said that any local government that refuses to have those who are elected to man those councils, their funds will be withheld. It happened in River State, so it can happen elsewhere.
Well, Ojokan Franklin, when we look at the issues happening right now, would you agree that the local government chairmen, as are constituted now across the federation, are handicapped? Do they really have a say in what's happening? I mean, you earlier mentioned that they actually protested against
the autonomy given to them by Buhari's government.
And is that not crying more than the bereaved? If they are acting as if they're comfortable with the current situation of things right now, what is really the devil in the detail that we're not seeing?
You see, I am not going to sit down here and patronize their inactions. I am going to say it the way it is. And what I'm saying is that the process of leadership recruitment at the local government level has been the reason why you are having what you are having. You have people who don't have focus, who don't know what their office entails, who don't know their schedules in the constitution, their duties, who don't even know that they ought to reside at local government councils to assess, to be assessed by the people at the grassroots. And so someone just slipped the previous night, and this morning he is being appointed, quote unquote, elected as council chairman.
So he's only feeling privileged and
does
not even feel the need to.
One, he did not even campaign to be elected. 2, he did not even show his manifesto. We don't even know what he came to do.
Actually campaigned.
Now the campaign that they campaigned, was it the reason why they were elected? You could see that if you want to go into the process how they were elected, you could see that the constitution give the CX, state independent electoral commissions, the powers to organize local government elections, but the funds comes from the state government. And so the governors decide who becomes the CX members and the chairman. So the question of he that pays the piper, that takes the tune, comes to play. So you can now see that someone who campaigns and has good manifestos, good dream, may end up not being elected. And so you could see one party taking it all.
Is it possible that this autonomy would ever be implemented to the letter with the realities that we're seeing play out on the ground?
I think we will get there. At least we've been able to get a judgment from Supreme Court, and what is left now is for our constitution to be amended, particularly that section 162 to be amended. And then I think recently I have had advocacies from even the Senate and the reps advocating that local government elections should be handled by one national commission instead of the state CX. So we'll get to a point where we can have full autonomy. But I think that the president, whose government, came up to stand for advocacy for local government autonomy, should be able to muster the political wings. Because when he was the governor of Lagos State, he created 44 area councils, development centers then, and the then president withheld the funds. And why did he do it? Because he believed in local government and grassroots politics and grassroots governance. That is why he created those 44 area centers. So he knows that governance begins from the grassroots level. And as it stands now, local government is dying. So we'll get to a point where I believe that before the president leaves office, we'll get it right.
All right, I understand that the funds actually disbursed to local government chairman have actually increased. But if it has increased, why are they not using this money to cater for the people? So what if the money is not given directly to them? How are we sure that they will make good use of these funds?
No, when you say has increased, is it increased from FAC, that is the differential account, yes, or increase in the state level, yes, the one the state governors now give to them? Which of them are you referring to? Because I know that since the president remove fuel subsidy,
yes, the funds have increased
for local government, states, and
but
the
we don't know how much goes to them.
So if you want to pick the unit, which the local government now, to say how much goes, if you check the database at the Federal Ministry of Finance, the budget department, you will see the funds that are credible to local government councils. For instance, in Akwa Ibom, you could have those who are earning 400 million. You see 300 million, 500 million. So the question you're asking now is, what are the 500 million being used for?
Yeah.
You see, now the question could be answered in this way. Supposing these funds are not given to them in all, total, like the funds that is standing in their credits, it's not being released to them. Assuming that is what is the case. Now, assuming what is given to them is for them to use and service their own political, loyalists. And so, if, for instance, my local government council is entitled to 400 million, and at the state level, the state level now released 200 million to me, and I choose to use that 200 million to do what I want to do. If they dare question me, I will question why they have to give me part of what part of what is entitled to me, whereas I entitled to all the sum. So they will not even be able to resist. The state governors can't even ask them to give account. That was why during our conference in Uyo on the 6th of October, we called on the state governor, for instance, in Akwa Ibom State, who has openly declared that he has not touched the local government funds, given that it is true, to now begin to embark on local government tour to see what these funds are used for. We also asked the House of Assembly, whose duty it is to oversight the local government councils, to also go and check what the funds given to them are being used for.
Mr. Franklin, I would like your parting shot here. Now, local government are supposed to be the engine, the transformation at the grassroots level. You look at the governors of the Niger Delta region, you think there's some level of commitment that should be extracted from them at this time. Can the Niger Delta region be a model for other states to copy from when we talk about local government administration and how it's supposed to thrive at this time?
Yeah, it would have been a model, given that you have governors who have people's conscience policies. You have governors who are not tampering on local government funds, because local government at the Delta region are suffering more than those in the other states, because here you have the oil pollution, environmental degradation, and all that kind of activities going on here. And so the people living in the rural area don't even have water to drink, they don't have good health facility, they don't have good road network, and the rest. So if the governors were the people who have conscience and who believe that the grassroots development is paramount to the state at this region should have been used as a benchmark, because we are having more funds in this region than the other regions.
All right. Thank you very much, Utwekon Franklin Isong, Director, Center for Human Rights and Accountability Network. The conversation around the local government autonomy and how it is administered, I'm not sure we're going to be able to exhaust it.
No,
in
we
a
cannot
day.
until we get there.
Indeed. But then let's hope that Nigeria comes out victorious
Sure,
in this evening's.
We will.
But the calculation continues.
Of course, we will, and we are always going to be holding them accountable. And until they begin to send chairmen to EFCC custody, send governors to give account of how they tamper on funds, this struggle will continue.
Thank you very much, Utwekon Franklin Isong, for coming on the
Thank
program. All right, so that's the size of Niger Delta today. We'll catch you again tomorrow for another fresh edition of the program. My name is Xavier Robert, wishing you a terrific afternoon.
And I am Sifonode. Good afternoon.